Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Wardlow Unmatched Collection AEW figure. And I actually just picked this up from Target, and I was very happy that I found it at Target because those of you who know, the prices on Ringside Collectibles have gotten very, very ridiculous. And I'm not a fan of it. The figures are pretty much $30. Some are even over $30 now. So yeah, just not a huge fan of that. So it was really cool to find this figure on the shelves. And this was actually the next one that I wanted, which was cool. Like once they announced this figure, I did want, this was the Wardlow figure was the one that I wanted next, and I just so happened to find them. I wasn't even planning on buying anything, but when I saw it, had to immediately grab it just because I am not, again, I'm not doing Ringside Collectibles unless it's like for, because I might get the pop-up arena, but in terms of getting figures, it's got to be figures that are on sale, because some stuff is still at a decent price, but I know that a lot of their new stuff that has recently come out, it's been like $30, man. I haven't really looked at the Mattel stuff, but I know the Jazzware stuff, the price has gone up. So yeah, just not a big fan of that. But I am a very big fan of this action figure. Very cool, man. Let me actually get a close up on the face. This is actually one of the best face sculpts that Jazzwares have done for the AEW line. Because a lot of their face scans are very hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get a really good face scan. Sometimes you won't. I'll do kind of like, this could work as a comparison video or a comparison segment, and also just kind of showing off the different face scans that I think that are pretty good. Like this MJF. Those of you who watch AEW know that, Wardlow is pretty much like MJF's bodyguard and the Pinnacle, all that stuff. I still need to get FTR. But yeah. Let's see. So we got the MJF, which I do like his head scan. And look at that. So yeah, pretty much right now I'm just showing the figures that have a pretty decent head scan in the wave out of all the AEW figures that have come out. I feel these ones are the best. Actually, I could take some out just because I have them so close. Frank Kazarian. Come on, Frankie. Yeah, see, these head scans are pretty cool, man. I love this Cody head scan. Not a fan of the other one that it comes with, but I love this Cody head scan a lot. It just shows a lot of detail. And normally I don't like my figures to, if they're just standing there, just like to have like those expressions, the mouth open, stuff like that. But this one works just because it looks exactly like Cody. And I feel like the Dean Ambrose one is decent. It's decent. The Jericho one is pretty cool. Get some of the Inner Circle guys. The Jericho one is pretty accurate. Like the Adam Hangman Page, that face scan is awful. The Kenny Omega one is pretty good. I dug Kenny Omega's face scan. Let's see. The Young Bucks look pretty good too. So yeah, I mean, there's a few. I'm not gonna show all of them. There's a few, but it's still hit or miss. I mean, a lot of the characters just look kind of like whoa. But Wardlow is one of the ones where I feel like they definitely they definitely got it right with him. The other head scan that he comes with is the more expressive head sculpt. This works perfect for if you're doing like action figure photography. He's doing a body slam or a power bomb, something like that. And he does come with 2 extra hands, the typical hands that come with like pretty much all of the AEW action figures. But I'm very happy that he comes with 2 fists. That's been one of the things missing from the AEW figures is the fist hands. Like, these are wrestling action figures, man. They need to have their fists, dude. Like, for punching. Like, seriously. So this looks really cool. Now, I'm very happy to say that this figure doesn't have like extremely loose legs. The arms aren't loose. The elbow joints don't feel gummy at all. Now the articulation is pretty standard. It's your typical articulation that you would that you see in these Jazzwares AEW figures. So typical action figure, typical articulation. Now, for the most part, I'm happy that he doesn't have any loose legs or loose arms, elbows, etc. However, the one time, actually, there's a few AEW figures that I have that don't have like really bad like loose like joints, but it's just funny how he almost makes it at being perfect in terms of not having any loose joints or anything, and then you go to the hand and it's extremely loose. Yeah, extremely loose. As a matter of fact, I want to try to see if it's probably the same. I don't even know why I'm testing this out, but let me go ahead and put this. Oh, actually, no. This one's better. So I actually might have to. He's gonna have one fist and then one open hand because that actually helped. Because when I opened this out of package, I immediately put the fist hands on just because a lot of the figures, like I talked about, a lot of the figures really don't have fists. They like none of them can't come with fists. Everybody has open hand. It's either like extremely open or they're doing a point like the Kenny Omega's doing his like pose. But yeah, they're finally starting to come with fist hands. So yeah. But I am happy that it seems like we're finally going to start seeing a lot of AEW waves where we're getting more new characters. It seems like they're starting to head into that realm. I know that I don't think people were necessarily wrong when they were saying this, but I know when the series first came out, a lot of people kept saying things like, well, the reason why we keep getting Jericho's and Cody's and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and all that, they kept saying, well, the reason why they keep doing this for every wave is because, there's not a lot of stars yet in AEW and they kind of want to sell the line and they're using their big stars to sell the line. I understand that for the first like 2, maybe 3 waves, but you start to push it a little bit when you keep on giving us the same figure with the different ring attire over and over and over and over again. It's the same complaint that I had with Todd McFarlane. Now we're finally starting to get more DC Todd McFarlane like characters. I think he's had the license now maybe 2 years. And I can't remember if it started like in 2019 with the DC McFarlane stuff, but he's had the license for a while. And we're just now going to get a Martian Manhunter and Aquaman. Just think about that. We're just now getting ready to get an Aquaman and Martian Manhunter comic book versions. That's insane to me. like that is insane, and it's because we've gotten so many Batman characters. And I have a lot of the Batman figures that he put out because they're cool, but at the same time, collectors do want to have a variation. They want a collection. You can ask almost. I'm not gonna speak for every wrestling collector because I think it goes across the board, not just with wrestling, but I know wrestling specifically, you go across the board. Anybody who collects wrestling figures, they want a pretty full roster. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of people like myself, I don't want to buy a bunch of Codys and a bunch of Kenny Omegas. Like I have 2 Codys because I wanted a better version than the one that came out, but I wanted a Cody Rhodes when these action figures came out. I'm pretty good with the Kenny Omegas because I'll have a third one if I get another Kenny, and I don't want to do that. I kind of want my AEW collection to be I'm mostly sticking to getting one per character. I'm not really looking into getting a bunch of, not, it's not like the WWE stuff, like the old school WWF. The reason why I have like so many Shawn Michaels and so many different Ultimate Warriors, like those guys are a huge part of my childhood, and they're some of my favorite wrestlers. So it's like it's a different kind of sentimental value with getting those figures a bunch of different times. I don't have that with AEW. I have a lot of guys that I'm fans of, a lot of guys and girls that I'm fans of, but I don't want to get a ton of one figure. I want to branch out. I want to have a full collection, and talking about back with the DC McFarlane stuff, everybody was saying, oh, well, he's just trying to sell the line with Batman. Okay, but DC collectors, the people that he's catering to, we were just buying Mattel stuff, or we were just buying Icons. We were just buying DC collectible stuff. And when those went away, we didn't get excited about McFarlane picking up DC just to do only Batman figures. We were excited about McFarlane picking up the DC license so we could get all of our favorite DC characters. And I look at it the same way with AEW. It's like I'm getting sick of seeing Chris Jericho figures over and over again, man. I know this kind of turned into a little bit of a rant, but like I said, I think they're getting better with it. The last two waves, like the Unrivaled wave, it's the majority of it is the Best Friends crew. It's the Best Friends tag team. It's Orange Cassidy, another one, and Chris Statlander. And which I'm very excited to get that figure when I see that in stores. And then they have the Dark Order wave. So they've branched out, and they're starting to put some waves in there where, I mean, yes, the one wave with the Best Friends crew has another Moxley and another Chris Jericho, but the big thing is that there's more different characters that we haven't gotten a lot of. I know we already had an Orange Cassidy, but those of you who know, if you missed out on that first Orange Cassidy, you'll be looking to pay $50 or more for it. So it's a good thing that they actually re-released him. But anyways, I know this turned into a whole nother type of video. But all in all, I'm just happy that it looks like we're finally going to start getting more waves where there's more newer characters, different characters, other than the same old, same old. Happy that I was able to find this, and this was the next character that I wanted. But yeah, man, I like the figure. I dig it a lot. Thank you guys for watching. As always, this is Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.